Welcome back, Exiles. With the release of the new patch, Dawn of the Hunt, we've seen a massive shakeup across the board. New Ascendancies, brutal balance changes, skill reworks, and even brand new class, the Huntress. I'll be breaking down every playable class in PoE 2, ranking them from the strongest to weakest, based solely on the patch notes. No opinions, just cold, calculated analysis straight from the devs' changes. So grab your flask, sharpen your build, and let's dive into the official tier list for Path of Exile 2 patch 0.2.0. Alright, so the way I'm going to start the ranking here is by doing the 12 classes that were playable prior to the Dawn of the Hunt patch, and then I'm going to add the Dawn of the Hunt Ascendancies that came out, or are coming out, I should say. So I'm going to start from the bottom up. So if you want to just skip to the end and watch that, be my guest. So the first class I'm going to be doing is the Gemling Legionnaire. So basically, not many things changed for that class specifically, and it needs a better scaling. So I'm going to be putting this class in rank C for now. The next one, Blood Mage. It's a high risk, high reward playstyle. I think it did get a little bit of a buff based on the patch, but nothing that's gonna put it over the top. So I think I'm gonna put the Blood Mage in rank C for now as well. The Acolyte of Chayula, which is a monk, he received very minor buffs here. Not really anything that changes him, so I'm honestly gonna put him in D. You could argue he doesn't deserve to be in D, but that's where I'm gonna put him based on the data that I've seen and the playstyle for him. And again, there's not really anything that really changes this patch for him, so there's nothing that puts him over the top. Now we're gonna do the Infernalist. Fire self-damage builds got tweaks but are still risky and inconsistent. So the playstyle is a little clunky, not really the best, so I'll also put this one in D for now. And the last for the CD tier here, I'm gonna go with the Titan. So the Titan, I'm gonna put it in C as well. Basically he's a big tank but doesn't really do much damage, and his scaling still hurts during the end game play. So I mean, that's currently the C and D for now. Moving up to B tier. Our first B tier that I'm gonna put in here is gonna be the Chronomancer. So temporal manipulation buffs were slight, but it synergizes well with temporal lock and ailment uptime. Still very much of a niche play, but has potential. I mean, very strong abilities, but it is a very niche-y type of playstyle for that. You really have to invest a lot of time in order to know how to play them correctly. Invoker. The Invoker is going to be in the B tier as well. Now, there's a little bit of an energy change. Some of the abilities that have lightning and shock have been increased, so I do believe the Invoker will see an uptick in damage because of it. I don't know how well he's going to play, obviously, since we haven't played the new patch yet, but I do believe that as the Invoker with lightning, he will be doing better off from the start, and his scaling we'll have to see how he really does in the late game. And the last one I'm gonna put here is the Witch Hunter in B tier. Again, for the same reasons as you'll see most of these classes, the same reasons, just an uptick in the lightning, and the shock, electrocute. So all those really are gonna get buffed this patch. So that's where I'm gonna be putting these classes for now. Didn't see any real direct buffs to the Witch Hunter, so again, he's just gonna be in the B tier for now. Our first A tier, I'm gonna put in the Deadeye, and I always get these two confused. This is Deadeye. Minor buffs, again, the electrocute, lightning damage, a little better elemental projectile build, and again, just a strong overall for mapping and crit damage. The next one I'm gonna be putting in here, the Warbringer. Now, I think the Warbringer, apart from the lightning scaling and shock damage, I think the Warbringer is actually the one that's gotten direct buffs to actually give it its own place here. Rage generation, war cry stacking, again, better scaling, better sustainability for that, more armors and leech efficiencies. So again, I feel like he is the winner in terms of specific class buffs for this ranking in this patch, but we'll have to see how he actually scales throughout the game, specifically into the end game. But I do believe that throughout the game he is going to be pretty strong. And in our S tier, our first class is going to be the Pathfinder. So the Pathfinder, we see some flask improvements, poison vial toxin synergy, scaling, minor flash charges rework, make made up time easier in all content, and excellent synergy with its newly added DOT passives. So again, I think for the same reason I was saying the Warbringer, the Pathfinder was already a pretty strong class, and I think now it just put over the top with the new buffs that it got. Again, not as many as the Warbringer, but just enough to put it over the top. And the last one in our S tier from the 12 classes we originally got is going to be, you probably guessed it, the Stormweaver. Huge buffs, 2 mana scaling, lightning overload, and elemental masteries. Passive scaling directly buffs main skill archetypes. And again, just everything that has to do with lightning, shock, electrocute, all of those have a huge buff. And if you look at the patch notes, you will just see all of the skill content that has lightning upscaling, lightning damage, and shock damage. So that's currently where we stand as of right now with the new patch coming out. For the new classes, obviously we haven't played them, we don't know how they actually feel, we don't know how they actually play out, how strong they actually are as of right now. So I'm going to take a professional guess here of, based on what they look like they're going to be doing, what the skills they are going to be having, and what the patch says in terms of damage, where they're going to be. So with that in mind, I am going to be putting the Ritualist in the A tier. So the Ritualist, totem and companion synergy, the companion AI, the new ritual where you actually can get any beast to be with you, I think it's going to be pretty strong, especially if it has different buffs. I think it's going to be a little bit of an RNG, obviously, because if you're able to find a boss from the beginning or whenever you get the skill that actually has good buffs, good damage, and is a good tank, then I think you're going to be doing a lot of damage. And yeah, just overall buffs and companions for the Ritualist. Let's see. The other one I'm going to be putting here in the A tier as well is the Tactician. Passive scaling buffs overall, strongest general in game with versatile range, and again, just the newness of the class. I believe that it's going to be a strong class, especially with the arrows that fly in over you, and it's going to help you just clear. I think that if you can put lightning attributes on these skills, and you're just going to clear the maps very quickly. That's my take on that one. Obviously, I guess again, I'm just guessing here since we haven't actually seen the class and all the skills that they bring. But again, based on how the mercenary is built, I do believe the mercenary is gonna be pretty strong. But I feel like between these two, the the tactician's just going to be a tier above the witch hunter in this one. Now, I believe my first B class is going to be the Smith of Kitava. He is going to have like a minion build since he's going to have his hammer with him. And I do believe that based on his scaling, based on the bleed scaling that it's going to be part of this patch, it seems like they added a lot specifically because of the Amazon. I feel like he's going to be pretty good in the B tier. Now, we will see how much damage he actually does. His actual Ascendancy class seems a little lackluster compared to the rest of the classes, to be honest, because of the armor. You can build your own armor and whatnot, but I guess we'll see how that actually does play out. We don't know how that scales, what it really brings. So somebody might be able to do really good with him, but I think overall, in terms of playability, I don't think he's pretty straightforward in that. So I think B tier. I mean, you could even argue bringing him down to C, but again, based on how he is a new character, I feel like he'll land in the B tier for now. And then the last one we're gonna put in the B tier is gonna be the Amazon. So again, projectile, the whole newness of the class. The one thing that we're gonna have to see is how she actually scales throughout the game, but with the lightning damage, I do believe she's gonna do fairly decent. You know, you can do the tornado whirlwind with lightning, and I think you'll be pretty strong. But since I don't know how they scale, I don't know how really good they're gonna be. That's basically all I have for the Amazon at this point. And in last, I'm gonna have to put the Lich. I argued internally a lot between C and D for the Lich. I know she's new. I know she has a lot to bring, especially with the new Spectre class where you can revive basically any monster you kill. But the issue for me is that if you look at the patch, didn't have too much minion build buffs in it. It had some minor touches, but nothing that was overwhelming. But I think at this point, I'll give him the benefit of doubt and I'll put him at C for now. I mean, again, depending on the scaling, because curse damage got nerfed. Basically everything that has to do with the witch in general did get nerfed during this patch for the actual curse damage. But minion builds, again, with the new gems that will give us skills, we'll see how really well she actually scales. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and put her on C tier, and then we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, this is what I believe is going to be the tier list for patch 0.2 for the Dawn of the Hunt, releasing tomorrow. So I'm gonna take a look, you know, in a couple of weeks, how good I am, and maybe I'll do an update video to see how well I'm doing, or how good did I guess this. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree with this list or if I'm complete shit and I don't know what I'm talking about. So look forward to seeing another video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Hold on, you got a night booger.